Hey guys, today we're diving deep into the most powerful strategy for achieving real success, one that doesn't rely on announcements, likes, or applause. It's not about the flashy posts or telling everyone what you're doing. It's about doing the work in silence, letting your results speak for themselves. Imagine this, the quiet hours of the morning, no one around, no distractions. It's just you and the work you're putting in. It's tough to do sometimes, right? The world loves noise, loves seeing progress in real time, loves hearing about plans. But here's the truth. It's the quiet ones who get the most done. They're the ones who don't need to shout about what they're building. They just build it. And when they're done, when they've reached the top, everyone else will be left wondering how they got there. We've been conditioned to believe that success is something you announce, that sharing every step of your journey is necessary. But let me tell you something. The most powerful move you'll ever make is the one that nobody sees coming. It's the quiet work, the commitment that no one knows about, that will shape your future. You don't need to tell people what you're doing. You don't need to explain why you're focused, why you're grinding away day after day. The results will speak for themselves. This audiobook is going to guide you on a journey of silent progress. We'll explore why silence is not a void, it's a tool. You don't need to explain every move you make. What you need to do is focus. Focus on your work. Focus on your growth. Focus on becoming the person you're meant to be, without needing anyone else's permission or approval. So, let's set the tone. Stop talking about your goals. Stop telling people what you're doing. It's time to let your results speak. Focus in silence and win in public. You've probably heard it 1,000 times. Silence is golden. But here's the reality. You've never truly understood the power of silence until you've experienced it in your own growth. In this noisy, always connected world, silence feels like a luxury we can't afford. We're conditioned to broadcast everything we're doing, sharing every moment, every step, every plan. But what if I told you that silence isn't something to fear? It's something to embrace. That true power comes from keeping things to yourself, from doing the work without anyone knowing. You see, silence is a tool, not a void. It's a tool that helps you focus, reflect, and build without distractions. The moment you stop talking about your plans is the moment you begin to see real progress. We're all guilty of it. Sharing our goals too early. Talking about what we want to do instead of just doing it. The truth is, talking about it gives you the illusion of progress. It makes you feel like you've already accomplished something, when in reality, you've only made noise. Silence, on the other hand, forces you to go deeper, to focus harder, and to build something real. When you work in silence, you would now protect your energy. You stop wasting time explaining yourself to people who don't understand your journey, and you stop seeking validation from those who are too caught up in their own noise. It's easy to get caught in the trap of needing external approval. The moment you free yourself from that need, you begin to unlock your true potential. You start building without distraction, without the need for anyone to tell you, "Good job," along the way. It's about quiet progress, unbothered by anyone else's opinions, judgments, or distractions. Think about it. How often have you told people what you were going to do? You've posted it on social media, told your friends, your family, or even strangers. And yes, for a moment, it felt good. You received a like, a comment, maybe even a little praise. It made you feel good, like you had already achieved something. But what did it really accomplish? All it did was create a momentary satisfaction, a small validation from others that lasted as long as the praise. But did it move you closer to your goal? Did it really push you further? In fact, by sharing your plans too early. You create a kind of premature validation. You tell the world, "Look at what I'm doing." But the truth is, that's just noise. What's the point of telling people what you're going to do if you haven't done it yet? When you're busy talking about it, you're wasting precious energy. Energy that could be spent making the actual change, doing the real work, and focusing on the things that matter. Now, let's explore how this constant need for external validation has become a trap for most people. We live in a world of instant gratification. Likes, shares, comments. All these little bursts of external validation that give us a false sense of accomplishment. It's easy to get addicted to the feedback loop. But the real growth doesn't come from being praised for every little step you take. It comes from within. It's about proving to yourself that you have what it takes to follow through, even when no one is watching. It's about making progress for yourself, not for the audience. You see, silence isn't a void. It's a powerful tool that helps you protect your focus, your energy, and your true goals. When you stop telling everyone what you're doing, you eliminate the unnecessary distractions. You're not waiting for someone to notice or cheer you on. You're working because you know what you're doing matters. Now, think about how much time you waste explaining your goals. How many hours have you spent justifying your actions, seeking approval, or discussing your plans with others? How often have you felt the need to broadcast your progress on social media, in your group chats, or over the phone to your friends? But here's the thing. Each time you do that, you're not focusing on the work. You're focusing on the approval you're seeking from others. This constant need for validation makes you lose sight of your true purpose. Every time you tell someone what you're about to do, you're getting a small, fleeting boost of confidence. But that confidence doesn't come from the work itself. It comes from the recognition you get from others. It's a short-term fix, a high that fades quickly. Real confidence comes from within, from the quiet, consistent actions that you take every day, whether anyone else sees them or not. And here's the truth. No one has to understand your journey, not your friends, not your family, not your neighbors. Your growth, your goals, and your progress are yours alone. People might not get it. They might not understand why you're doing things the way you are, or why you're so focused, but that doesn't matter. The only person who needs to understand your journey is you. You don't need to explain yourself to anyone. You don't need to share your plans, your struggles, or your progress with anyone else. Real growth happens when you let go of that need. You stop looking for external validation, and you start looking inward. You focus on doing the work, consistently, quietly, and without needing recognition. You focus on what matters, not on what others think. And when you're truly focused on the work, you won't even care about the praise. You won't need to tell anyone what you're doing because your actions will speak for themselves. You'll reach a point where you no longer seek approval, where you no longer feel the need to share your plans with others. You'll be focused entirely on the work. And that's where the real magic happens. Because when you're not distracted by what others think, you can finally do the work that will actually make a difference. But here's the kicker. When you've done the work in silence, when you've stayed consistent and focused without needing validation, the results will be undeniable. People will notice. They'll see your growth. They'll see what you've built. But by that time, you won't need them to acknowledge it. You'll already know how far you've come. You'll know the effort you've put in, the hours of silent work that have shaped your success. And that, my friend, is the real victory. Remember, silence doesn't mean inactivity. It doesn't mean you're hiding. It means you're focusing, you're building, and you're investing in your future without needing to share every step of the process. Let the work speak for itself. When you do, you'll realize just how powerful silence truly is. It will be the tool that unlocks your potential, the shield that protects you from distractions, and the key to achieving everything you've dreamed of. You've got to stop explaining yourself. Let's face it, there's a massive difference between talking about what you're going to do and actually doing it. The world doesn't need your explanations. It needs your action. It's easy to get caught in the trap of wanting to explain every decision, every step you take. But the truth is, those explanations do nothing to move you closer to your goals. They only distract you. They only delay the inevitable truth that your results will speak for themselves when the time is right. We've all been there, telling people about your big plans, getting excited, imagining the praise and validation. But that's not what's going to get you ahead. What's going to get you ahead is your willingness to stop talking and start doing. It's your ability to stop seeking permission and start taking action. Stop waiting for someone to tell you that you're doing the right thing. Plain. Stop asking for approval from people who can't even see your vision. It's time to get serious. This isn't about shutting out everyone around you. It's about stopping the noise, the unnecessary chatter, the over-explaining, the need to justify every decision you make. In the beginning, it's easy to want to explain yourself. You want to make sure everyone understands why you're doing something, why you're working so hard, why you're making sacrifices. But here's the truth. People don't need to understand. You don't owe anyone an explanation for why you're working hard to improve your life. This is your journey. It's personal. And when you begin to realize that, when you understand that no one else needs to approve of your decisions, that's when things start to change. The moment you stop explaining is the moment you begin to evolve. The moment you stop chasing validation is the moment you start moving forward. It's a choice you make within yourself to stop performing and start producing, stop seeking approval and start building. Think about it. How many times have you felt the need to explain yourself? How many conversations have you had where you feel like you need to justify what you're doing, why you're doing it, and why it's important? It's exhausting, isn't it? It takes energy that could be better spent on the actual work. And the problem is, every time you explain yourself, you're watering down your true power. You're giving away your energy, your focus, to things that don't matter. Instead of putting your energy into action, you're putting it into words. Words that don't bring results. The truth is, the world doesn't need to know about your plans. The people around you don't need to know what's coming. You don't need to tell anyone. Your work will speak for itself. The effort you put in will eventually show up. And when it does, it won't need any explanation. People will see it. They'll notice the changes, the growth, the results. But by that time, you won't need them to. You'll already know how far you've come. You'll have already achieved what you set out to do, and it will be undeniable. You see, explaining yourself is an act of seeking approval. It's trying to convince others that you're on the right path. But what happens when you stop seeking that validation? What happens when you just do the work without needing to explain why or how? That's when the real magic happens. That's when you make progress that lasts. That's when you become the person you were always meant to be. It's easy to get caught in the trap of performing for others. We live in a world where everyone is trying to outdo one another, to show how busy and productive they are. People post their goals, their progress, their plans on social media, as if doing so will somehow validate their efforts. But here's the truth. Posting about it doesn't get the work done. It doesn't move you any closer to your goal. It just feeds the need for approval. And that's where things get tricky. The more you seek approval, the more you delay the real work. Because every time you focus on explaining yourself to others, you're not focusing on what matters, getting the work done. You're not focusing on making progress. You're focusing on making sure everyone else knows what you're doing. And in doing that, you delay your success. So, how do you stop explaining? How do you shift your focus from seeking approval to just doing the work? It starts with a simple decision. Stop talking. Stop explaining. Stop justifying. Focus on what's in front of you. Focus on the task at hand. Focus on getting better. Step by step. Every single day. The more you do this, the more you'll realize that the results speak for themselves. It won't be easy. People will ask questions. They'll want to know what you're working on, why you're working so hard, and what you're trying to accomplish. But your answer will be simple. You're working on yourself. You're focused on building something that matters, and you don't need to explain it to anyone. The more you make this your mantra, the easier it will be to stay focused on what really matters, the work. This isn't about being secretive. It's about protecting your energy. It's about not wasting time explaining yourself to people who don't need to know your every move. It's about putting that energy into action instead of words. And when you start doing that, you'll notice something remarkable. Things begin to happen. Your progress accelerates. Your focus sharpens. Your work becomes more powerful because you're no longer distracted by the need to explain. So, here's the challenge. The next time someone asks you what you're working on, don't answer with words. Answer with results. Don't explain, don't justify. Just do the work. Let your progress speak for itself. Because in the end, your results will do more for you than any explanation ever could. Ever. Let's talk about something crucial. The difference between motivation and discipline. Everyone loves motivation, right? It's that spark that gets you started. You feel the fire in your belly, the excitement of a new challenge, and the desire to change. But here's the reality check. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes. It's the feeling you get when you first decide to make a change. But the problem is, feelings don't last. The motivation you feel today might be gone tomorrow. And when it fades, so does your drive. That's where discipline comes in. Discipline doesn't need motivation to work. Discipline is the act of showing up, even when you don't feel like it. It's the decision to keep going, day after day, no matter how you feel. You see, discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. It's the muscle that carries you through when motivation abandons you. While motivation is like a flash of light, discipline is the steady, reliable glow that guides you through the dark. It's what allows you to stay committed when things get hard, when the progress feels slow, when you wonder if it's even worth it. Discipline tells you, keep going, stay focused. It doesn't need a pep talk. It doesn't need external validation. It's the inner strength that gets you up every day to do the work. No matter how you feel or what the world around you is saying, think about it. How many times have you relied on motivation to get you through the day? You set a goal, you feel excited, and you dive into it full force. But what happens when the excitement fades? What happens when the challenges start to mount? That's when most people give up. They wait for motivation to come back. They wait for that rush of excitement to get them through the tough days. But here's the secret. While they're waiting for motivation, you're building your discipline. The truth is, you can't wait for motivation to show up. You can't rely on feelings to push you forward. If you do, you'll never get anywhere. The key to success is making the decision to keep going, even when you don't feel like it. It's about developing a routine, building habits, and staying consistent. The more you show up, the easier it becomes. The more you push through the difficult days, the stronger your discipline grows. And when your discipline becomes your default mode of operation, That's when the magic happens. It's time to stop relying on motivation as a crutch. It's time to focus on building your discipline. This doesn't mean you won't have days when you feel tired, unmotivated, or discouraged. Those days will come, but discipline is what carries you through them. It's the unwavering commitment to show up, even when you don't feel like it. It's the choice to do the work, even when the excitement has worn off. And that's what separates the dreamers from the doers. Now, think about the long game. Real success isn't about doing a lot of work in short bursts. It's about doing consistent work over time. It's about showing up every single day, even when the going gets tough. And the more you rely on your discipline, the more momentum you'll build. You'll find that success isn't as far out of reach as you once thought. The reason most people fail is simple. They stop when the motivation fades. They stop when things get hard. But the ones who succeed are the ones who keep going, no matter what. Discipline is what makes that happen. It's what gets you to the finish line, even when the path seems endless. It's what allows you to keep your eyes on the prize when everything else is pulling you in a million different directions. When you build your discipline, you build your future. Every day you show up, you're one step closer to your goals. And over time, those steps add up. They compound. You start seeing the results, and you start realizing that the hard work was worth it. But here's the catch. Discipline isn't just about doing the work. It's about doing the work consistently. It's about sticking to your routine, even when it's inconvenient. It's about making the decision every day to keep moving forward, no matter what. This is why it's so important to build the right habits, to structure your day in a way that allows you to show up every day. Without habits, you'll find it harder to stay disciplined. Without routines, you'll constantly be starting over. But when you build habits that align with your goals, discipline becomes second nature. So, what's the secret to building discipline? It's simple: consistency. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be the hardest worker in the room. You just need to show up every day, consistently. And when you do that, you'll start to see the results. The success you've been dreaming about will no longer be just a dream. It will be your reality. But it all starts with the choice to show up. Even when you don't feel like it. That is the power of discipline. Discipline is the true key to success. It's the one thing that will carry you through the hard days and the long nights. It's the foundation on which you'll build your life. And the best part? You have the power to build it, one day at a time. You just have to make the decision to start. Once you do, everything will fall into place. It may not happen overnight, but it will happen. And that's what makes discipline so powerful. It doesn't rely on motivation. It doesn't rely on feelings. It relies on your commitment to keep going, no matter what. So stop waiting for motivation to show up. Stop relying on it to get you through the day. Start building your discipline. Start showing up day after day, and watch as your efforts turn into real success. Building habits is one of the most critical things you can do for yourself if you want to succeed. The problem with goals is that they're often big, overwhelming, and intimidating. They seem so far out of reach that you start thinking, "I'll never get there." But that's not the reality. The reality is that success isn't built in a single day. It's built by stacking small, consistent actions over time, by creating habits that support the life you want to live. Habits are the foundation of success. They're the little actions you do every day that compound into big results. They're what you do when no one is watching, when there's no applause or recognition. They're the invisible work that shapes your future. And here's the truth. It doesn't matter how small the habit is. What matters is consistency. The power of habits comes not from how impressive they are, but from how consistently you do them. It's easy to get excited about a new goal, to make big plans, and feel motivated. But what happens when the initial excitement fades? What happens when the novelty wears off? That's when habits kick in. Habits are what keep you going when the motivation fades. They're the rituals you do day in and day out that shape who you are and who you're becoming. Let's think about a simple habit. Maybe it's waking up an hour earlier than usual to work on your goals. At first, it seems insignificant. It doesn't feel like much. But over time, that small habit becomes a part of who you are. It sets the tone for your day. It gives you the time and space to focus on your goals, to get ahead. That 1 hour every day adds up. It compounds. By the end of the month, you've added 30 hours of work toward your goals. And that's just one habit. Now, imagine doing that with multiple habits. What if you consistently worked on your goals for 1 hour every day? What if you ate healthier, worked out regularly, read, and developed your skills consistently? Over time, these habits build on one another. They give you more energy, more focus, more clarity, and more momentum. They shape the life you're working toward. And the best part? They don't require huge bursts of energy or motivation. They just require consistency. You don't have to be perfect. You don't need to do everything all at once. The key is to start small and be consistent. If you want to wake up earlier, start with 15 minutes. If you want to read more, start with 10 pages a day. The small, inconsistent actions add up. But you've got to make that commitment to yourself. You've got to show up every day and do the work, even when it feels boring or repetitive. That's the secret. That's how you build habits that lead to long-term success. Here's something that people often get wrong about habits. They think habits need to be extraordinary. They think that to be successful, they need to create groundbreaking habits, do something dramatic, or push themselves to their limits. But the truth is, success is built on these small, not too ordinary habits that people do day in and day out. It's about the mundane, the boring, the consistent actions that add up over time. It's about doing the work when no one is looking. It's about staying disciplined, even when it doesn't feel exciting or rewarding in the moment. Imagine you're trying to develop the habit of working out regularly. You don't need to jump into the gym for 2 hours a day. You don't need to push yourself to exhaustion every time. You just need to show up, even if it's a short workout. Just doing it consistently is what will lead to results. It's the consistency that counts, not the intensity. When you're building habits, it's important to remember that it's okay to fail sometimes. It's okay to fall off track. What matters is getting back up and continuing the journey. The most successful people aren't the ones who never fail. They're the ones who keep going, even when they do. They're the ones who make a habit of showing up, even when it's hard. So, how do you build habits that stick? Start by making them small and achievable. Break down your bigger goals into tiny steps. Set yourself up for success by making the habit as easy as possible to start. If you want to work out more, leave your workout clothes out the night before. If you want to read more, keep a book with you everywhere you go. The easier you make it to begin, the more likely you are to stick with it. Next, track your progress. The simple act of checking off a box or marking your progress can give you the motivation to continue. It's a small win every time you check something off your list. It's a way of seeing that you're moving forward, even if it's just one small step at a time. But most importantly, remember that building habits is a long-term process. You won't see instant results. It takes time for habits to become ingrained, for them to become a part of who you are. But the longer you stick with them, the stronger they become. And over time, they'll start to shape your life in ways you never imagined. In the end, success isn't about doing extraordinary things. It's about doing ordinary things consistently. It's about showing up every day, putting in the work, and building habits that support the life you want to create. So, stop waiting for motivation to get started. Start building your habits today. Even the smallest actions, done consistently, will lead you to the life you've always wanted. Now that you've learned the power of working in silence, building discipline, and in creating habits that lead to lasting success, it's time to face something many people shy away from: struggles. Everyone wants the outcome without the struggle. But here's the truth: there's no growth without struggle. Struggle is not the enemy. It's the catalyst for your growth. It's what shapes you, molds you, and pushes you to become someone greater than you ever imagined. We all face struggles, but most people try to avoid them. They want to bypass the tough times, to skip over the challenges that test their resolve. But here's the secret: you could not grow without struggle. It's the pain, the discomfort, the struggle that reveals your true strength. And the stronger you get, the more capable you become of handling life's challenges. Struggles aren't there to break you. They're there to build you. Think about it. Whenever you've faced adversity in your life, hasn't it made you stronger? It might have felt like the world was falling apart, like you couldn't go on, but when you pushed through, when you kept going, you came out on the other side stronger, wiser, and more resilient. That's the power of struggle. It forces you to dig deeper, to find strength you didn't know you had. And while it may not always feel good in the moment, it's exactly what you need to grow. The key to dealing with struggles is not to avoid them, but to learn how to handle them. There will be days when things feel overwhelming, when it seems like the universe is testing you, but those are the days when you need to push the hardest. Those are the days when you need to lean into the struggle and let it teach you something. Because if you're being honest with yourself, you know that the most valuable lessons come from the toughest situations. When you face challenges head-on, you build resilience. You become someone who doesn't run away when things get tough. You become someone who stands firm, who pushes through the discomfort, and who doesn't give up. That's the kind of strength that lasts. It's the kind of strength that can't be taken away by any setback or failure. It's built through struggle, and it only grows stronger the more you face. Now, there's a big misconception about struggle. People think it's a sign that something is wrong, that they're failing, that they're not on the right path. But in reality, struggle is a sign that you're on the right path. It's a sign that you're pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone. And that's where growth happens. Growth doesn't happen when everything is easy. It happens when things are hard, when you have to fight for what you want, when you feel like giving up but refuse to quit. What's the alternative to struggling? Staying in your comfort zone, playing it safe, avoiding the hard things. But here's the truth: nothing great ever comes from staying comfortable. If you want to live an extraordinary life, you have to be willing to get uncomfortable. You have to be willing to embrace the struggles, to face them without fear, and to keep moving forward despite the obstacles in your way. Struggles are part of the journey. They're not something to fear or avoid. They're something to embrace. Because every time you overcome a struggle, you get stronger. Every challenge you face makes you better. It teaches you lessons that can't be learned from comfort or ease. And those lessons are what will carry you through the rest of your life. Now, I'm not saying you have to face your struggles alone. You don't have to go through everything by yourself. But there's something powerful about handling your struggles in silence, about dealing with the pain, the disappointment, the frustration, without needing to share every detail with the world. When you face your struggles alone, without needing sympathy or validation from others, you build a kind of inner strength that no one can take away from you. It's in those quiet, difficult moments that you'll discover who you truly are. You'll discover your strength, your resilience, your determination. You'll discover what you're made of, and when you come out the other side, you'll be a different person, stronger, more capable, and more confident than ever before. But you can't get there by avoiding struggle. You have to face it head on, embrace it, and learn from it. So, the next time life throws a challenge your way, don't shy away from it. Don't try to avoid it or run from it. Embrace it. Face it with the knowledge that it's shaping you into the person you're meant to be. It's building your character, your strength, and your resilience. It's making you better. And when you get through it, you'll look back and realize that the struggle wasn't something to fear. It was something to be grateful for, because it made you stronger. That's the secret to handling struggles. Stop running from them. Lean into them. Let them teach you. Let them mold you. And when you come out on the other side, you'll be unbreakable. Let's get real for a moment. This whole journey isn't about avoiding the hard parts, but about staying focused, even when things get tough. You see, everyone talks about success, but few mention the grit and determination it takes to get there. It's easy to get distracted by the noise, to be swayed by others' opinions, or to get caught up in the pressure of doing things the way everyone else expects. But that's not how you're going to win. You're going to win by staying focused on your own path, by tuning out the distractions, and by keeping your eyes on what really matters. In today's world, the distractions are everywhere. People will pull you in every direction, telling you what you should be doing, how you should be doing it, and when you should do it. But none of that matters. What matters is your vision, your goals, and your purpose. The only way to reach them is by staying focused on the work, not the praise, not the validation, not the opinions. It's so easy to get off track, to listen to the noise, and to let the distractions lead you astray. But here's the truth. The more you listen to others, the less you'll hear your own inner voice, the one that knows exactly what you need to do to get where you want to go. The best way to protect your energy is to filter out the distractions. Let the opinions of others pass by without affecting your course. Let their doubts and judgments roll off your back like water on a duck. Because at the end of the day, it's your life. It's your future. And if you don't stay focused on your path, no one else will. The people around you might have their own goals and dreams, but they don't walk in your shoes. They don't see the world the way you do, and they certainly don't understand your vision. So, stop looking for their approval. Stop waiting for them to cheer you on. You don't need their permission to move forward. What you need is focus, and focus is the key to success. Now, staying focused doesn't mean ignoring the world around you entirely. It means knowing when to tune in and when to tune out. It means being intentional about what you give your attention to. The world is full of distractions, but only you have the power to choose where you put your energy. If you want to stay focused, you need to be mindful of the people, the media, and the environments you expose yourself to. Are they adding value to your life? Are they helping you get closer to your goals? Or are they simply noise? You need to ask yourself this question. Does this move me closer to my goal, or does it pull me away from it? The more you focus on what truly matters, the less you'll be distracted by the things that don't. You'll stop wasting time on things that don't serve you. You'll stop trying to impress people who don't care about your journey, and you'll start putting your energy where it truly counts. Staying focused is about building a discipline to turn away from the distractions and prioritize your vision. It's about setting boundaries and sticking to them. It's about learning to say no to the things that aren't aligned with your purpose. This is hard, especially when the world is always trying to pull your attention in a million directions. But this is where success is made. Success is not made in a flurry of busy work or in trying to keep up with everyone else. Success is made in the quiet, focused moments where you're doing the work that no one else sees. But that will make all the difference in the end. It's easy to get caught up in the chase for quick wins, for validation, for instant results. But that's not how lasting success is built. Lasting success is built by staying focused on the long-term goal. Even when the progress seems slow, it's about putting in the work, day after day, without needing to show off every step of the way. Because here's the truth. The people who win are not the ones who are always talking about what they're doing. They're the ones who are doing the work, quietly and consistently. They're the ones who stay focused on their vision and don't let the noise distract them. They know that their results will speak for themselves when the time is right. There will be times when you question yourself, when the distractions will seem overwhelming, and when the path will look unclear. But this is where you have to lean into your focus. You have to trust that every step, every small action is moving you closer to your goal, even if it doesn't feel like it. Even if the world is telling you to give up or take shortcuts, you know that the real success comes from showing up day after day, even when it feels hard. The key to staying focused is developing a mindset that doesn't waver. It's about being so committed to your vision that nothing can pull you off track. This means not getting distracted by the opinions of others, not getting sidetracked by short-term wins, and not losing sight of the bigger picture. You've got to trust the process. You've got to believe that the work you're putting in now is building the foundation for your future success. So, what can you do to stay focused? First, you need to start by setting clear goals. Define what success looks like for you. Make sure your goals are aligned with your values and break them down into manageable steps. This will give you a roadmap to follow and help you stay on track. Second, you need to eliminate distractions. Be mindful of where you spend your time and who you spend it with. Protect your energy by focusing on what truly matters. Third, you need to be consistent. Show up every day, even when it's tough. The more consistent you are, the stronger your focus will become. Remember, staying focused isn't about ignoring the world. It's about making deliberate choices to prioritize what matters to you. It's about building the mental muscle to tune out the noise and focus on the work. Focus will take you farther than you ever imagined. And the more you practice it, the easier it will get. Success isn't about working harder or doing more. It's about working smarter and staying focused on the right things. The people who win don't get distracted by the noise. They stay focused on their path, their goals, and their purpose. They understand that their results will speak for themselves. And they trust that, in time, the work they've done will pay off. So, focus. Don't let the world pull you in a million directions. Stay true to your path. Keep your eyes on your goals. And when the distractions come, remember this. Success is made in the quiet moments, in the focused work that no one sees but everyone will notice when it's done. You've been working in silence, building your discipline, facing struggles head on, and staying focused on your path. Now, it's time for you to realize that the most powerful thing you can do is stop chasing applause and start chasing results. The world loves a good performance. It loves the flashy announcements, the promises of what's to come, and the endless cycle of proving yourself. But none of that actually builds anything meaningful. What matters isn't what you say you're going to do. What matters is what you actually do. People will often try to get you to prove yourself, to show your progress, to tell what's happening in your life. And sure, it's easy to get caught in the trap of sharing your plans, of showing off the work you're doing. But let's be real. Seeking constant approval, showing off your efforts, or talking about your plans won't get you where you want to go. In fact, it'll only pull you further away from your goal. The truth is, when you're too busy talking about what you're doing, you're not actually doing the work. You're not building the life you want. Instead, you're performing. You're acting like you're already there, but you haven't even started the hard work. And here's the most important point you need to understand. Performing doesn't lead to results. Doing does. When you focus on doing the work, the results will speak for themselves. You won't need to explain your progress because it will be obvious to everyone around you. You won't need to announce your success because your actions will already have made the statement. The key here is to stop worrying about the approval of others. Stop worrying about looking good and start worrying about what's actually being built behind the scenes. You need to take a step back and ask yourself, what's more important? Talking about your progress or making progress? This is where many people get stuck. They get so caught up in the idea of being seen, of looking successful, that they forget the true work lies in staying consistent, in doing the things that don't get applause, in building something that speaks for itself. It's time to stop chasing attention and start focusing on the substance of your work. This doesn't mean you have to isolate yourself or stop sharing your wins with the world. But don't let your need for recognition distract you from what matters most, the work itself. The work is what builds your character, what strengthens your resolve, what sets you apart from everyone else who's simply performing. When you stop performing and start building, you'll notice something powerful happening. You'll start to see results, real, lasting results. And when that happens, you won't need anyone's applause. Your progress will be visible to everyone without you having to say a word. People will start noticing how much you've changed, how much you've grown, and how much you've achieved. But it won't be because you've been shouting about it. It'll be because you've been quietly doing the work, day after day, no matter what. Think about all the people who've truly made an impact in the world. They didn't spend all their time talking about their plans. They didn't need to convince others of their greatness. They simply did the work. They focused on creating value, on solving problems, on making real progress. And when the results came, the world took notice. It's the same for you. The more you focus on the doing, the less you'll need to explain or justify. The results will speak for themselves. In a world that loves the spotlight, it's easy to get caught up in the desire to be seen. But remember, being seen doesn't equate to being successful. You could have 1 million people watching your every move and still not be building anything meaningful. The real success comes from the quiet, a steady work you put in when no one is looking. That's where the foundation is laid. That's where the real value is created. And that's where true success begins. The next time you feel the urge to announce what you're doing, stop. Ask yourself, am I seeking attention or am I focusing on results? Do what matters. Focus on the work. Keep your head down and build something that speaks for itself. Stop performing. Start producing. The world doesn't need more noise. It needs action. Remember, results are louder than words. The more you focus on doing the work, the more the world will take notice without you having to say a word. So, stop performing for others and start performing for yourself. Build the life you want, quietly and consistently. And when you've built something worth noticing, your results will be the only applause you need. As you continue on your journey, building in silence, focusing on the work and letting your results speak for themselves. It's important to understand one fundamental truth. Growth happens in the quiet moments. It happens when no one is watching, when no one is clapping, when no one is giving you feedback. True transformation is built in these moments, away from the spotlight, away from the attention, and away from the praise. The world is obsessed with the idea of instant success, with the desire to see everything happening in real time. But what if I told you that true success isn't immediate? It's the product of sustained, consistent effort over time, often without the applause or recognition you think you need. And it's in the quiet moments, in the behind-the-scenes work, where the foundation for lasting success is truly laid. Most people don't see the long nights, the quiet mornings, the early starts, or the setbacks that happen when no one is around. They don't see the hours you've spent honing your craft, the times you've pushed through fatigue, or the moments when you felt like quitting but kept going anyway. But that's the real work. That's where the magic happens. It's not the flashy moments that define success. It's the work you put in when the world isn't paying attention. You see, the world loves the idea of success. It loves seeing the results, the transformations, and the victories. But it often ignores the process that makes those results possible. The process is where the real change happens. It's the part where you show up, day after day, putting in the work even when it doesn't feel glamorous. And that's exactly where growth happens. When you commit to showing up even when no one is cheering you on, you're making progress. Whether it feels like it or not, you're building your success piece by piece, brick by brick, even if it's happening in the background. The quiet moments are essential. They're the time when you're building discipline, developing habits, and reinforcing your commitment to your goals. It's easy to get distracted by what's visible, the quick wins, the flashy moments, the external validation. But real growth is happening in those moments when it's just you and your work. It's happening when you're learning, improving, and becoming better. Even if no one is there to witness it, this is where you start to transform. And if you're truly focused on becoming your best, these quiet moments will be the ones you cherish the most. The question is, can you trust the process when no one else is watching? Can you keep going when the feedback is silent, when the world isn't applauding, and when success seems far away? If you can do that, if you can keep going even when it feels like nothing is happening, that's when you're truly building something real. The world may not see it at first, but eventually, it will. Eventually, your results will speak louder than any explanation ever could. Trusting the process is one of the most powerful things you can do for your growth. It's about knowing that even when things feel stagnant, when progress seems slow, and when you're not seeing the external rewards, you're still moving forward. Growth is not linear. There will be setbacks. There will be days when it feels like nothing is happening. But the quiet moments are where you build your resilience, where you dig deeper, and where you strengthened your commitment to the long-term vision. This is the path that most people won't take. Most people won't be willing to work in silence. They won't want to endure the slow, quiet growth because they crave the quick fix, the external validation, and the immediate recognition. But the ones who succeed, the ones who build something real, are the ones who keep going when the world is silent. They understand that success is not built in a single moment of glory. It's built over time, through consistent effort, and through the quiet commitment to your goals. When you begin to embrace the quiet, to trust the process, and to focus on the work that no one else sees, that's when you start to change. You'll find a deeper level of strength within yourself. You'll start to realize that the results you're looking for aren't the ones you announce to the world. They're the ones that speak for themselves, quietly, steadily, and consistently. So, don't be afraid of the quiet. Don't shy away from the behind-the-scenes work. Embrace it. Trust that every moment you spend working, every effort you put in, is bringing you closer to your goal. And when you look back at the journey, you'll realize that the quiet moments were the ones that shaped your success, because that's where you did the real work. That's where you laid the foundation for everything you've accomplished, and where you'll find the strength to keep going, no matter what. In the previous sections, we've focused on the power of working in silence, building discipline, and handling struggles on your own. But now, let's talk about something else that's often overlooked in the pursuit of success: the power of consistency. Consistency is the unshakable foundation that keeps everything together. It's what turns small actions into monumental results. Without consistency, even the best plans will fall apart. Consistency is the difference between wishing for success and actually achieving it. The truth is, success isn't about one big breakthrough moment. It's about showing up every single day, regardless of how you feel, and doing the work consistently, even when it's hard. When you're consistent, you're telling yourself, "I trust the process." You're proving to yourself that you're committed to your vision, even when the road ahead seems long or uncertain. You're making the decision that no matter how slow the progress is, you're going to keep moving forward. Every single day. That's the power of consistency. It doesn't require perfection. It doesn't require instant results. But it guarantees that if you stick with it long enough, the results will come. Think about the habits you're building. Think about the routines you're sticking to. The key isn't about doing everything right all the time. It's about showing up, day after day, and doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. This is where most people fail. They start strong, they get excited. They put in the effort for a short burst of time, but they don't stick with it. They get discouraged when things don't happen as quickly as they thought. They look for shortcuts, for hacks, for ways to speed up the process. But the truth is, the process can't be rushed. It's built one day at a time. One small action, repeated consistently, will get you where you want to go. You can't expect overnight success. That's a myth. Real success is built on steady, consistent progress. And if you can commit to that, if you can commit to showing up even when it feels like nothing is happening, then you'll be amazed at how much you can accomplish over time. Consistency doesn't mean working harder. It means working smarter. It's about finding a rhythm that works for you and sticking to it. You don't need to push yourself to the brink of exhaustion. You don't need to work 12-hour days every day to see progress. But what you do need is to be consistent. You need to make a commitment to yourself that you'll show up and do the work, even when you don't feel like it, and even when it doesn't seem like it's making a difference. Let's break this down. Consistency isn't just about doing the same thing every day. It's about doing what matters, doing what moves you closer to your goal, even when the excitement has worn off. You know how it feels when you first start something new. There's that rush of excitement, that motivation that gets you out of bed in the morning. But what happens after a few days, a few weeks? The excitement fades, and suddenly it's harder to stay on track. That's when most people give up. But not you. If you want to be successful, you need to learn how to push through when the excitement fades, when the results aren't immediate, and when the world isn't applauding your efforts. True success is built on what happens after that initial rush. It's built on what happens when things get tough and when you have to dig deep and stay committed. And this is where consistency comes in. It's what keeps you on track when motivation fades, when the world goes quiet, and when the path seems unclear. Look at some of the most successful people in the world. They didn't get where they are by making big leaps once in a while. They got there by doing the work, day after day, by showing up even when they didn't feel like it, by making consistency their secret weapon. And that's what you can do too. You can build a life of success by committing to consistent, small actions that add up over time. Let's take a moment to talk about the importance of patience in this process. Success doesn't happen overnight. You're not going to see dramatic changes in a week, a month, or even a few months. But if you stay consistent, you'll begin to see results. They won't always be obvious right away, but over time, you'll look back and realize just how much progress you've made. That's the power of consistency. It's the slow, steady work that leads to massive results over time. When you make consistency your default mode, you'll stop worrying about the results. You'll stop stressing over how long it's taking or whether you're on the right track. You'll know that if you keep showing up, if you keep doing the work, the results will follow. It's only a matter of time. Success isn't about one big action or one moment of glory. It's about the little actions you take, consistently, every day. So Maiko Retit, here's your challenge. Stop looking for shortcuts. Stop looking for the next hack or magic bullet. Instead, focus on what really matters. Showing up every day and doing the work. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be glamorous, but it needs to be consistent. Commit to that, and you'll see the results unfold in a way that feels effortless. Even though you've been putting in the work all along, the most successful people are the ones who show up, day after day, no matter how small the progress seems. And now it's your turn. Commit to the process. Commit to the journey. Focus on what matters. And remember, the power of consistency is unstoppable. You've been on this journey for a while now, and by now, you've learned that true success is built from consistent, focused effort. But let's face it, even the most disciplined, consistent people experience moments of doubt. It's normal to question yourself when you're putting in so much work, and the results aren't immediately apparent. It's natural to feel like giving up when the road gets tough, and it seems like progress is moving slower than you expected. But this is the moment when patience becomes your greatest ally. You need to understand something. Progress is rarely linear. There will be days when everything feels smooth, and there will be days when it feels like you're taking 2 steps backward. The key here is not to get discouraged when things don't go as planned. Real growth takes time. It takes patience. And it takes the willingness to keep going even when the results don't come immediately. Most people make the mistake of expecting immediate results, especially in a world that is built on instant gratification. The reality is that sustainable success isn't about quick wins or shortcuts. It's about long-term commitment. It's about doing the work day after day with the faith that even the smallest efforts are moving you closer to your goal. The true reward comes in the form of long-term results, the kind that are built on a strong foundation of patience and persistence. When you embrace patience, you shift your perspective. Instead of rushing to get results, you begin to appreciate the journey itself. You start to see the value in the small, consistent actions that might seem insignificant in the moment, but that are building your future success. You start to understand that every little step counts, and that even the tough days, the setbacks, and the failures are all part of the process. The real power of patience lies in its ability to allow you to trust the process. When you're patient, you stop obsessing over the speed of your progress. You stop measuring success by how fast you're moving. Instead, you focus on the fact that you're moving forward at all. And that's what matters, whether it's one small step a day or a giant leap once in a while. As long as you keep moving forward, you're on the right track. The temptation to quit will show up. The urge to give up will come knocking when it seems like things aren't happening fast enough. But this is where patience makes all the difference. When you're committed to staying patient, you remind yourself that success isn't a race. It's not about getting to the finish line first. It's about building something lasting, something meaningful, something that will stand the test of time. And the only way to do that is by trusting the process and giving it time to unfold. So, what can you do to develop more patience in your journey? First, start by setting realistic expectations. Success isn't something that happens overnight. It doesn't happen because you worked hard for a few days or a few weeks. It happens because you've made a commitment to show up consistently, over and over again, for months, even years. Be prepared to put in the work, even when the progress feels slow. Realize that every step you take is a step closer to your goal, even if you can't see it yet. Second, focus on the process, not the outcome. The mistake many people make is that they fixate on the end result. They want to see the outcome immediately, but the real value comes from the work itself. When you focus on the journey, on doing the work, and improving yourself every day, the results will naturally follow. The more you immerse yourself in the process, the less you'll feel frustrated by the pace of your progress. Third, stop comparing yourself to others. Social media, the internet, and the people around you will constantly show you other people's success stories. But here's the truth. You're not on the same path as anyone else. Your journey is unique, and comparing your progress to someone else's will only slow you down. Your only competition is yourself. Measure your success by your own standards, by your commitment, and by how far you've come, not by how quickly someone else got there. Patience is not about waiting passively for success to fall into your lap. It's about actively working toward your goals, even when the results are delayed. It's about trusting that the work you're doing today will pay off in the long run. Patience doesn't mean you stop striving for more. It means you stop expecting everything to happen instantly. You learn to be present in the process, to find satisfaction in doing the work, and to let go of the pressure to see immediate results. So, the next time you feel like giving up, remember that the most important thing you can do is to be patient. Trust the process, keep doing the work, and know that every step, no matter how small, is taking you closer to your goal. You might not see the results immediately, but they are coming. Success doesn't happen in a hurry. It happens slowly, steadily, and consistently. Patience is the quiet force that keeps you grounded when things get tough. It's the strength that lets you continue, even when the road seems endless. So, trust yourself, trust the process, and most importantly, trust that patience will lead you to success, even when the world is rushing ahead. Now that you've built the discipline, faced your struggles, embraced patience and committed to consistent action, it's time to look at something crucial that many people overlook: the importance of protecting your energy. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle and grind, thinking that the more you do, the more successful you'll become. But here's the truth. Your energy is your most valuable resource. Without it, you won't be able to continue doing the work. No matter how disciplined or focused you are, protecting your energy is key to sustaining your long-term success. When you're focused on your goals, you're going to face a lot of distractions. Some of them will come from external sources, people, situations, events, and even the noise of the world around you. Others will come from within: negative self-talk, doubts, fears, and insecurities are all energy drainers. And the more you give attention to these distractions, the more you deplete your energy. This is why protecting your energy is so important. You need to learn how to conserve your energy for the things that matter most. Because if you waste it on things that don't serve your purpose, you'll find yourself running on empty, struggling to find the motivation to keep going, start by eliminating energy leaks. Identify the things, people, or activities in your life that drain you. This could be anything from negative people who don't support your vision to situations that make you feel frustrated or unfulfilled. It could be the constant need to check your social media or getting stuck in a cycle of overthinking and worrying about things you can't control. Whatever it is, identify it and make the decision to protect yourself from these distractions. You have the power to say no. You don't have to attend every event, engage in every conversation, or entertain every invitation. Not everyone in your life deserves your energy. And the more you say no to the things that drain you, the more you can say yes to the things that matter. This means giving more of your time to the people, places, and activities that fuel your energy, those that align with your vision, those that inspire you and move you forward. But protecting your energy isn't just about saying no to the wrong things. It's also about saying yes to what fills you up. You need to spend time on the things that recharge your battery, that help you feel alive, inspired, and focused. This could mean carving out time for self-care, spending time with loved ones, engaging in hobbies that bring you joy, or simply taking time to rest and recharge. Your body and mind need rest to function at their best. You can't keep pushing forward if you're constantly running on empty. Rest is not a luxury, it's a necessity. This is where many people get it wrong. They think that if they're not working, they're falling behind. They think that every moment not spent hustling is a moment wasted. But the truth is, the more you push yourself without rest, the less effective you become. You become fatigued, burnt out, and eventually, your productivity starts to suffer. Taking the time to rest and recharge is an investment in your long-term success. It gives you the clarity, focus, and energy you need to keep pushing forward when you return to your work. Another aspect of protecting your energy is surrounding yourself with the right people. The people you spend time with have a huge impact on your energy. If you're surrounded by people who are negative, who doubt you, or who aren't supportive of your goals, their energy will bring you down. You need to surround yourself with people who lift you up, who believe in you, and who support your journey. These are the people who will give you the strength to keep going when things get tough. They'll be your sounding board, your cheerleaders, and your accountability partners. But remember, you are the one who has to set the boundaries. You have to protect your energy by choosing who you allow into your life. And this goes beyond just people. It's also about protecting your mental and emotional space. Stop allowing negativity to take root in your mind. Stop dwelling on things you can't control. Instead, focus on the things that matter. Focus on your goals, your growth, and your progress. The more you keep your mind clear of distractions, the more energy you'll have to focus on what's truly important. One of the most powerful ways to protect your energy is by creating an environment that supports your goals. Your physical space plays a huge role in your energy levels. If you're working in a cluttered, disorganized environment, it's going to drain your energy. But if you create a space that's clean, organized, and inspiring, it can help you stay focused and motivated. A tidy, clutter-free workspace signals to your brain that it's time to focus and get to work. On the other hand, a chaotic environment can make it hard to concentrate and can leave you feeling mentally drained. Take some time to create a workspace that supports your success. Lastly, protect your energy by staying grounded in your purpose. When you're clear on why you're doing what you're doing, it becomes easier to stay focused and energized. Your purpose is the fuel that drives you forward, even when things get difficult. If you're ever feeling low on energy or motivation, remind yourself of why you started. Connect with your deeper purpose and let it reignite the fire within you. In summary, protecting your energy is crucial for long-term success. It means eliminating distractions, saying no to things that drain you, saying yes to things that fuel you, and surrounding yourself with people who lift you up. It means taking time to rest and recharge and creating an environment that supports your success. And most importantly, it means staying grounded in your purpose, knowing that your energy is precious and using it wisely. When you protect your energy, you're giving yourself the best chance to succeed. As you continue on this path of quiet, disciplined work, you will inevitably come to a critical juncture, a point where your results are beginning to show. And at this moment, the key is to stay grounded and humble. Winning in silence is not just about working hard without telling anyone. It's about handling your success with grace, confidence, and humility. You see, there's a moment when your hard work starts to pay off, when people start noticing the progress you've made. And this is where many people get it wrong. The mistake most people make when success begins to show is that they feel the need to flaunt it, to announce it to the world, to prove that they've made it. But remember, success isn't a show. It's the result of consistent, quiet effort. And when the results start to appear, it's not about rubbing them in people's faces or seeking validation. It's about handling success with humility and letting your results speak for themselves. You've put in the work. You've shown up every day, stayed disciplined, faced your struggles, and focused on your path. Now, when the time comes for people to notice your success, let it be because of the strength of your character, not the volume of your announcement. The quieter you are about your success, the stronger it becomes. People respect quiet strength. People notice steady and consistent results. But they won't be impressed by loud declarations or unnecessary bragging. In fact, the more you let your success speak for itself, the more respect you'll earn. You won't need to explain your journey to anyone. Your results will tell the story for you. They'll show the hard work, the discipline, and the quiet determination that went into creating your success. People will respect you not because you shouted about your victories, but because you let your work do the talking. This is the key to long-lasting success. Stay humble, stay grounded, and stay focused. Don't let the recognition go to your head. Don't start performing now that others are watching. Stay true to the quiet work that got you here. Don't allow external validation to shape your self-worth. Your worth is defined by the journey you've walked, not by the praise or applause you receive. And the more you remain grounded, the more you can continue to grow and evolve in the most authentic way. The people who are truly successful aren't the ones who are constantly talking about it. They're the ones who continue to do the work, day in and day out, regardless of external praise. They've mastered the art of humility. They know that real success isn't about proving something to others. It's about proving something to themselves. It's about knowing, deep down, that they've done the work, that they've remained committed to their goals, and that they've stayed true to their purpose. At this point in your journey, the most powerful thing you can do is keep your head down and keep going. Keep doing the work, even when the results are undeniable. Keep showing up, even when others start to notice. The most important thing is to never lose sight of why you started this journey in the first place. Your focus should always be on the work, on the progress, on the growth, not on the recognition. When you do this, you'll find that your success will continue to compound. The more you stay grounded and humble, the more your results will grow. Now, this doesn't mean you can't celebrate your wins. Of course, take time to acknowledge your achievements, reflect on your progress, and appreciate the hard work that got you here. But don't let that celebration be about seeking recognition or validation. Let it be a private moment of pride, knowing that your success is the result of your commitment, discipline, and quiet focus. Celebrate because you know you've earned it, not because you need others to acknowledge it. When your success comes, let it be a reminder of the quiet, steady work that built it. Let it be a reflection of the discipline, patience, and consistency you've demonstrated throughout this journey. And as your results grow, so will your humility. The more you focus on your purpose and your vision, the less you'll need to rely on external praise to define your success. Success becomes more meaningful when it's built on the foundation of internal satisfaction, rather than the applause of others. So, as you continue on this journey, remember, winning in silence means not letting success change who you are. Stay humble, stay focused, and keep working. Let your results speak for themselves. When you've built something meaningful, you won't need to announce it. It will be clear. It will speak louder than words. You will have shown, through your consistency, your discipline, and your focus, that you've earned your success. And that's the kind of success that lasts.